What's up, y'all? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. I am so excited today to be talking about Poshfest. Day one is in the books. Poshfest 2020 is in the books. So I am going to have a few people on to talk about the highlights of it, all the ins and outs of Poshfest 2020. Before we get started, I do want to talk about my mystery boxes. They are pre-sale right now. So if you signed up for a mystery box, you should have gotten an email today. I've had a couple people reach out and say they did not get an email. So send me a DM. And if you did not sign up for pre-sale, they go on sale tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye out for that. There is a limited amount of those. More information on my Instagram. That's not what today is about, but I did want to make sure to talk about that. And without further ado, I had Girly Girl Styles. Hopefully she joins on the chat. If not, she will be on Monday. She did an intro for my YouTube video. So I am going to go ahead and show that this is my premiere intro for my YouTube video, and then I will go ahead and bring on these wonderful ladies. Maybe I'll show it. Here we go. Maybe. There we go. Oh my God, how stinking amazing is that? That is by Girly Girl Styles. So if you do not follow her, she has a YouTube channel, and I have a link in my Instagram link tree if you want her to make one of those. She does that for her day job. But without further ado, Mia is supposed to be joining us. I think she might be having some technical difficulties, so hopefully she will be on soon. This is my dear friend Michelle and Yolanda. If you guys do not know them, those are their Instagram handles. Absolutely go head on over to Instagram and follow them. Amazing content, great resources to the community. Normally, I do a little bit of an intro, but we have too much to cover today. So these are amazing people. Definitely follow them. They're resellers. They went to Poshfest today. Mia should be joining us if she can get her connection to work out, but we're going to dig right in. It was a jam-packed today. I actually was not able to make any of it because it's Friday and I have 3 kids remote learning. So I'm really excited to hear what everyone has to say. I was able to, they did the YouTube live this morning, and then I think they're also doing it live on YouTube tomorrow if you aren't attending Poshfest, but Manish got up and talked and did his whole State of the Union. I was able to watch that in the recording after, so I can touch a little bit on that, but then I'm excited to hear about what sessions you guys, there's Mia. Hey girl, can you hear us? No. Oh, hopefully we can get to her. So let's talk about, did you guys all attend this state? Actually, let's rewind. Who went to the pre-party last night to get it all started?
I did.
Me. Oh, it was fun. Was it fun? We had a good time.
Yes.
It's not as fun as in person for sure. But I think they did a really good job.
Yes, it was fantastic. I loved connecting with everybody last night and just being able to at least meet new people that I haven't had to be able to normally meet. Like you said, it'd be nice to have it more in person, but we made the best of it and it was really great. And I think everybody did a wonderful job.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I was a little nervous it was going to be too long, but then it got to the end and I was like, oh, that kind of went quickly. And I loved they did breakout rooms in the Poshfest pre-party, which was nice because then we had some more intimate conversations and talking to people that I have seen on Instagram, but I'm like, oh, we can kind of talk in real life, right? So that was nice. Anyone, if you guys are joining in the comments, definitely leave your comments down below. Add your comments to my questions. Let me know what sessions you guys attended today and what you enjoyed. Mia, are you there? Is she frozen? Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully she gets up. All right. So let's get into it. The State of the Union. It started off this morning with Manish. Is that right? I always say, in my head, I say Manish, and I'm like, that's not.
It's Manish, yeah.
Okay. So it started off today, YouTube Live with Manish. He went over State of the Union. I wrote down some notes, but I didn't see it live. I was actually on a Zoom call with my kids' school. They do a parent conference every week because we're kind of the teachers now. So I was on a Zoom call with them and then reading all the comments in the YouTube live to figure out what was going on. So I didn't watch it live. So I'm interested to hear what your guys' takeaways were with that, and then we'll get into the breakout sessions.
Okay. I mean, Michelle, you can go first.
Okay. I was really excited. With this being my first Poshfest, it was really nice to know and be able to like see what was previous year to what is this year. And Manish kind of jumped right into that. What happened in 2019 going into 2020. And with them launching Canada, it was really amazing to hear that Canada has over 1 million Posh users. So I think that's great. Also, a takeaway that I took from that, 1 in 5 people in America, that is just amazing to me, are Posh users. And there's over 16 million people on Poshmark.
Was it 60 or 16?
I
wrote
heard
down
16.
Okay, I wrote down 60. Your number sounds more reasonable.
Okay, yeah, I
Well,
wrote down 16.
It's a lot, right?
Absolutely. I mean, just think of that audience that we have, and I can't believe there's 1 in 5 in America that are Poshmark users. That's just amazing to me.
Yeah, and y'all know me, he said numbers, and so I wrote the numbers down. Clearly, I wrote them down wrong because then I was shipping when I was listening, multitasking all day. But what I thought was interesting in this, when he said that, is that many users, and I think as the reseller community, we tend to forget that Poshmark is not just resellers, right? A large percent, I would venture to say, and I don't know if he said this, but you know, the majority of Poshmark users are not us. And so we think of like Poshmark should do this, Poshmark should do that, but it's not necessarily their platform. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily, it's not an eBay. eBay is like, we are here for resellers. Poshmark isn't necessarily that. And when I heard the amount of people on Poshmark, that like rang it for me, like, okay, like the resellers are such a small part of Poshmark together, right?
Right. Exactly.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I know, you guys kind of resonated with the numbers, but I was kind of listening to the entire, almost like the theme, because last year in Phoenix was my first Poshfest. And so from last year to this year, I'm really, and I don't think people really kind of get it, but Poshmark is so socially driven. Mm-hmm. Like you really cannot succeed on the app without being a part of the social movement that's behind it, because it's like integrated into one. And so to just kind of hear that, it was like, I don't know, it just cemented something for me. So I think that, a lot of people need to remember to connect to all of those people, however they can, and just know that they're not alone. So that's one of the things that I really love about Poshmark.
Yeah, and I liked how he said that too. And he kind of brought, like, I haven't been to a Poshfest before, so I haven't like seen him in person. I've heard him talk in various other things, and a lot of people have said this, but I almost had tears in my eyes because he was just talking about like the community, and he brought up, Kim City, and how we all are working together. And I think, at least I'm going to speak for myself, I tend to forget about that because I'm like, this is a business. Like, this is a business. Here's my numbers. Poshmark should be giving me this, blah, 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 and I tend to forget like what makes Poshmark so special. And it is that community. You don't get that with other platforms. All right, let's see if Mia's.
Yeah.
Hello. There we go. Can you hear us?
Hi, Mia.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Mia.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. So we are talking about the State of the Union. I think is that what it's called?
Yes.
That makes me think of
like the State of the Posh Union.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just think of like the president talking. But I guess it's the same thing, right? So we're just talking about and major takeaways from it. The community. He touched on the community. How he also touched on the pandemic and how this is a really hard year and everyone is struggling, and to kind of have some grace with people if someone is acting. And this took heart to me because sometimes I'm like, well, why are they acting that way? And then I'm like, this is like, we're in a freaking pandemic. My kids are at home. We're reset, like all kinds of things. Like we need to have grace with ourselves and then have grace with each other too.
Exactly.
I thought it was a really good opening to it. I don't know, Mia, if you had anything from the State of the Union that you had takeaways from.
I actually missed that part of it. My computer was having issues, so.
I'm going to touch on that in a minute because it's come up in the chat already. So we will touch on that after this because then it went to Zoom, right? You could access this on YouTube, but then if you wanted it, you had to go to Zoom. Yes,
Sorry.
go ahead. Yeah.
I was just going to say, can I add something to that about the community and everything? Because that was something that actually honed in with me. And that's what I love about Poshmark and, being that sense of community, and how when he touched on that, when he was talking, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. When he was talking about that, he was saying, with COVID, where they started the Posh and coffees and how they made that virtual, and we were able to do over 800 Posh and coffees and be able to connect with people that we probably wouldn't have been able to connect with if it were in real life Posh and coffees from across the United States. And so I thought that was really amazing. And another thing that he was talking about is everyone's success is your success, and your success is everyone else's success. And so if we come together as community and see it at that, then we can, we have so many tools to make us successful in our business. And so that's what I wanted to touch on that. I just thought that was special, and I really like his outlook on that.
Yeah, and I think, and Leslie, speaking of community, I'm sure everybody here knows Leslie. Did I lose Yolanda? Okay, hopefully she joins back. If you all don't know Leslie, you absolutely have to follow her. But speaking of community, she is definitely a pillar in this community. I attended for a little bit. I always like Manisha's State of the Union. I saw Blake. You did a little magic trick.
I went to it doesn't show me as logged in on YouTube because I wanted to chat, and I clicked a button and I didn't know it was going to take me off.
Okay, so and real quick, if for those of you on the chat on the video, if you click, there's like a private and then there's a comment tab on StreamYard. If you click the comments, then you'll be able to see the comments that are in YouTube also.
Yeah, I can't add to them because I'm not logged in.
Oh, really? You guys can't add? Oh, you have to be on. See, I can. On your side, you have to do it from YouTube. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not logged into YouTube for some reason. So
gotcha.
I love y'all. I do. I just can't talk to you. So.
All right. Yeah, that's a downfall of using StreamYard. I think they have a paid version that maybe you have to pay for it. And so Leslie is also saying, I liked this, embrace your weirdness. I'm just waiting for someone to make shirts out of this. Let me know. It's definitely, I could see it being, the next big craze. That was one of his big points as well. And then a couple of people are in the chat are talking about this. And I know, so tomorrow they're doing the hackathon, which I'm excited to attend to hear about new features. Yeah. But he did touch on today this morning, some of the new features, some of the things they had already implemented, and then some of the new things that were to come. So I'll let you guys, if you remember, share some of them, and then I can touch base on some of my favorites as well.
One of the ones that really kind of stuck out to me was what he was talking about with the Posh stories. So they're going to be adding on to those so that you can embed them into your listing. And it almost sounds like they're going to be doing where it's like a feed that you can access all of your past Posh stories. So I'm looking forward to that. It reminds me a lot, it mirrors Instagram a little bit like that. So you can see like your history. So I'm looking forward to that.
I hope they'll integrate it though to where as a content creator, we were talking about this today, Yolanda, it's so much work to create content. And so if I have to do it for Instagram, and then I have to do it for YouTube, and then I have to do it for TikTok, and then I have to do it for a Poshmark, the nice thing Instagram, TikTok interfaces with Instagram, so you can put it right onto Instagram, and Instagram you can put right onto Facebook. So then at least, I don't know, they didn't mention that, but that would be, I would absolutely share all of my stories from Instagram to Poshmark. But
it's easier work. Yeah.
I don't think to take it, save it, put it on Poshmark yet. So I don't know if anyone I don't really use the stories yet. But if anyone else does, another thing too, and jump in, feel free to jump in. I will ramble on and on. So Yolanda knows me, she'll jump right in, but Mia and Michelle, don't feel bad interrupting me. Leslie is saying, Yolanda, if you want to use your phone to chat, people can.
Yeah, I'm looking down trying to.
Yeah, so when they're looking down, yeah. So something else that I thought was interesting, and I had heard this, but it was good to hear his perspective on it, is they changed some of the, I guess, like the filter and the back end algorithm of it. So before it was, you know, just shared. If you were looking for something, it would come in as just shared or price dropped. And now they did more of like a relevant, I think, or something to that extent, where you search for something and it's something more specific to what you're looking for, which is kind of nice and makes it, I think, easier for the buyer. And then also for the seller, people are finding things that they're actually searching for, not just what has recently been shared. I thought it was interesting too, because in Instagram, they talked a little bit about, or Instagram a couple months ago, there was the big thing on the copy feature and how like they came out with the copy feature and then they had to go back with that. And it was interesting to hear his take. And he said a lot of people didn't know how to use it and were using it as a share.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, because he had mentioned a lot of people in the community, you know, the reselling tight knit community were like, oh, they don't want us relisting. And he said today, like, we want you to relist and refresh your listings, but people were using it as a share, and that was not the intent. So they had to kind of scramble back on that, which I thought was interesting to hear, because there was a lot of talk like, oh, they don't want us relisting. And that's not at all what they said.
You know, I was kind of mentioning that on a phone call with a friend of mine, another reseller, about that, people using it as a sharing tool. And I was trying to figure out how people got there, but I wonder if it has something to do with the advice for the edit next list. I wonder if that's kind of what people thought it was, just another way to do that. So, which is why maybe you see it, you know, you see the listings, it always says copy still in the title, like they don't take that out because maybe they just don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
So-
that's valid. And we have to keep in mind too, that we're not, like, most posters aren't doing this as like a living, right? And so they're not watching a zillion YouTube videos like we do and following everyone on Instagram. And, you know, they are just doing it quickly, something out of their closet and stuff. So they may not be as educated in all of it. Two more things, and then we will move on to sessions unless you guys have anything else to add. And this is all I have to add. So then I'm just going to ask questions because I didn't intend anything else today. They did say they're adding more sizes and colors. So where you can do like inseam and waist and stuff as well. Stories you had mentioned, new filters as well. And I'm sure you guys can guess what I was most excited about. They're adding more closet metrics, inventory, brands. He didn't get too detailed into it, but mentioned that he's trying to help us as sellers have more access to our data. I'm hoping they'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow in the hackathon. Oh, and he mentioned just briefly in passing, I think you had to hear it, like just pay attention, but mentioned international shipping.
Yes.
Yeah, and cross-border shipping. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so that. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, that's okay. I was going to just say, I also saw that he had mentioned that they're going, there's an option for us to allow a portion of our sales to go to a charity of our choice. And I really love that idea too. I saw that too. So yeah, I caught the international shipping, which I think is wonderful. And I also, with the charity of our choice, I think that's really great.
Yeah. Poshmark, I've been kind of on the fence, like eBay's doing real well for me. And I'm like, I don't know, it's Poshmark. And then after today, and I only went to the beginning, I'm like, all right, hold on to Poshmark. Like some good things are coming. It's good community. All right. So let's break out. I wrote down the sessions. So there was, if you guys did not attend Poshfest and you're watching this, they do, that was the beginning, the State of the Union, and then they had breakout sessions where you could choose from 3 breakout sessions or a ask anything type of thing from the team. I didn't hear anyone who attended one of those. I'd be interested if anyone attended one of those in the chat, how it went. So the first breakout session, we'll kind of go break by break and talk about it. Let me take that back real quick. So I heard a lot, and I did have this issue as well. There was a lot of issues getting on to these sessions and with Zoom and people not having links. I had I had multiple emails from them this morning, but 2 of them were the exact same email. One was at 8 o'clock saying Poshfest starts in an hour, and then one was at 9 o'clock saying Poshfest starts in an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, when does it actually start? So hopefully I make it to my session tomorrow because the timing has been a little. Did you guys have any issues with links or getting on or?
Yeah. So I don't know how you guys did it, but I got the same 2 emails that you got this morning, and I didn't use that because I had to get off of Zoom. So I use it for the State of the Union, but it was just really kind of glitchy. So I got onto YouTube, kind of like everyone else did, and I was able to see in the comments that someone was saying that there were links to each breakaway session or breakout session in the Facebook group. And so I was like, oh, well, let me check on that. And you actually, if you're in the Poshfest 2020 group, it's a private group on Facebook. I don't know how I found it, but I just saved it on my computer for tomorrow. And it actually has links for each session.
Now,
And
see, I got an email that had all those links, but not everybody did.
I didn't get that email.
I got the email.
Did
Okay.
you get the email?
Yeah,
No.
I did get the email.
So
And
I don't
Yolanda
know,
did.
maybe it went to my trash folder or something. I have no idea, but I didn't get that one.
Yeah, and that's kind of listening to the community, checking in on the Facebook page. That's kind of like some people got it, some people didn't. The timing, like the app said a different time than the computer said, and then I got that email. So I'm thankful that my session was not today. I would have been a hot mess not knowing when it was and what it did. Margaret is saying I entered the App Anything session and automatically had my camera on, immediately exited. That's amazing. I know that's part of like being at home. It's like I put in my stories yesterday. Are you wearing a bra? Like I'm at home, I'm in my pajamas. Like I'm not I got ready for this, but like I'm not. I will keep my tomorrow I will because I'm speaking, but no, like that's part of being at home. All right, so let's get into the sessions. The first session was TikTok Beyond the Bins. And I wrote down business plan. I don't know what the official name is. But why don't you guys talk about if you attended the first breakout? Maybe we'll go around and talk about what you attended and what your takeaways were from it. I can call. I'll be the mean teacher and call on people if you don't want to.
I can start. I attended in the first session the Beyond the Bins. And there were takeaways from that. We're talking about basically sourcing beyond bins, and we were talking about liquidation and different things like that. A lot of things. I have some notes here from that as well. I took from that was if you're wanting, because there's a lot of people that are going into liquidation right now. I don't have experience on that, but that's why I wanted to see what it was all about. Some things that I took away from that is if it costs more money to do liquidation. I know that you're just starting liquidation, Sarah, and you could probably speak more on that. But like Nina was on there speaking today from Last Quarter Shop, and she was saying that, she didn't jump into liquidation till after she had been reselling for 4 years. So to make sure that you do your research, there's tons of things that you can Google and go on and research on those topics and on those items, but to make that just not jumping in and assuming that it's going to be all fun and not overwhelming at first. And so I thought that was a great tip. And then another takeaway that I took, that Christmas stuff is selling really well, and it sells all year long. So I was really interested to see that. and home goods and accessories right now. And I think what they were, and I believe that was Nina also speaking, is that a lot of people are home right now. And so they're wanting to redecorate. They're wanting to do the things that they weren't able to do, leaving their homes every day and stuff like that. And then, so I thought that was a really great tip too. Another tip that somebody said too is, and this was just sourcing in general, is when you get in that kind of that funk that you don't, when you go sourcing, you know, or you bring stuff home and you have your what they call death pile. I like to call it my money pile, but is that try to source for things that you are interested in and things in like your size and different things. And so that kind of gets you like, ooh, I like that. And kind of gets you back into that groove of wanting to be happy to list those things and have those things in your closet. So I thought that was a great tip too.
Yeah, but that can be trouble too, because then you're like, ooh,
yes,
size.
I know, because I keep a lot of stuff in my size.
Right. Yeah. Well, but it's interesting because I've noticed in my data what my sizes that sell best are my size. And I'm like, I wonder if that's because I'm like more drawn to it, or I know what fits that size better. Like what, you know, do you know what I mean? Like because
Right.
everyone doesn't sell that size as well as I do. Or maybe it's just because I'm like, I'll take that if it doesn't sell. And then so the other person was consignment, right? She talked about a consignment model.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I find, okay, so I used to do consignment. I had an actual brick and mortar store. And a few years ago, wealth of information. But the thing that I found interesting was her fee structure. And it was really interesting. I like seeing people's point of view, but the thing that, you know, you have to deal with consignment is one of the things that she said was like one person may have cats and another person may not. And it's like you kind of have to be tricky with how you store that. So consignment is a whole different thing, you know. And back when COVID first hit, a lot of people were taking to like Facebook and Craigslist and things like that, asking neighbors and friends if they had stuff, you know, that they would be willing to donate or, you know, sell to them. And, you know, you have to be careful with a lot, just like anything else, you know, and figure out, I would say, just to add my little spin on it, is with consignments, either be picky or be ready to disclose a lot of information. Because especially, you know, you guys know the kind of questions that we get already from people, and to add a different element that now you can't verify if something came from a smoke-free home, and you know you don't smoke, but you don't know if your consignor person does or not. So you just have to, you know, kind of be careful with that.
That's always turning me off from consignment as well, is one, the organization. I know y'all think that I'm organized, but I'm actually not organized by trait. I have to like extremely overcompensate because that's not a skill that I have. And so that just makes me, and it's with someone else's stuff. If I lose something that's mine, it's like, whoops, that sucks. Sorry, Sarah. But if you lose someone else's and keeping up with that, but then also people are very attached to their stuff. And they always think that it's going to sell better and higher than it will. And I don't really like people. That's terrible to say, but like, I don't really want to be dealing with other people and their attachment to my grandpa. My grandma gave me this. I'm like, well, this PoshMark's seller doesn't care about that. Like,
that's why, you know, she mentioned contracts, which I can attest to. They are very important. So you can go into it and you need to say upfront, hey, you can input, you know, like if you want a certain amount for this, then that's fine. We can talk about that. But that's a conversation that you guys need to have beforehand. So, you know, people get, I call it perceived value versus actual value. And sometimes it can be like a gap there. And you have to have that conversation. So I would definitely reach out to her because she clearly this is what she does. And, you know, they all have said, if you have questions to message them and things like that. But
yes. And I will say to that note as well, Poshfest isn't in person, so you can't like go talk to them after a breakout session. I don't know all of the speakers, but from the ones that I've talked to, and my guess would be they're going on the stage because they want to share their knowledge. They're in some capacity open to that. If you have questions, I know Nina personally, so I will speak to her. She's been on my channel, and she actually put the tick of liquidation in my head back, I think it was pre-COVID. We talked about it. And she will answer questions. She's very busy right now. She has a lot going on, so it may be a little bit of time, but she will definitely answer. I'm a speaker, I will answer. But if you have questions on any of these, I would definitely reach out because that's something that you're missing in the actual Poshfest experience of being able to see them all weekend, right? But their social media, I would venture to say most people are willing to speak to you at some capacity because they were willing to talk about this. Mia, did you attend one of the first sessions?
Yeah, I attended the Beyond the Bends as well. One of the things that I found interesting was somebody had mentioned looking for wholesalers and whole warehouses in your area. So I thought that was a good tip to like look online to see if there's any liquidation companies that you can maybe negotiate with locally. Another tip that I actually heard at like a Posh and Sip coffee was somebody was saying that you could just Google or you could just go up to a thrift store and talk to them and tell them what you do, and then you might be able to make a connection that way and then buy in bulk that way. So
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've tried it. I have not had luck.
Oh, you haven't?
My thrift stores are like, that's not fair to everyone else. And I was like, yeah, but that's the point. Like,
right.
Everyone else didn't ask. I did. So,
But I mean, I like that they were like, that's not fair because I'm in Colorado. It's a lot of resellers out here. And one of the big local thrift stores, they have like 30 locations, is giving back to the community. Okay, I will say I'm going to give one tip on liquidation. Not that I'm a pro, but I am starting to get into it. Something because you do have to buy a large quantity at a time. And it's very scary money. And then also just you don't know how like we've all been thrifting forever and we know how that process goes. Something I did is connect with other people in my area that I know were doing pallets, and I bought off of their pallet. So that I could get, like, I would go and I would talk to them. How did it come? How did you, and get an idea and like see how it actually was, and then buy a little bit of their inventory to see how the processing went and what actually sold. And it was helpful to me because I have a friend who bought a pallet of shoes and I would have really gone down that path. And then I saw her pallet of shoes and they just throw it all in there. So she had probably 20% of her shoes were ruined because they didn't package them nice. They weren't in boxes. They weren't even wrapped. And I would have never have thought of that. And so I'm glad I didn't buy 500 shoes and 20%. So that was something, I did that twice and got me kind of comfortable spending the amount. So Ashley Wheeler, she is actually going to be on Monday. We're going to be recapping day 2 on Monday. So Ashley Wheeler and Bill and Tori from Girly Girl Styles and 324 Finds will be on Monday. She went to the TikTok breakout, was amazing. They provided a stat saying 30% of TikTok users don't have any other social media presence. It made me rethink my position on TikTok. I've heard that.
That's interesting.
That's amazing.
Anyone on TikTok?
I posted my first TikTok like a couple of days ago. It got like 500 views or something like that. But then my next video didn't get any views. So I'm like, I don't really know how that algorithm works. Or if I gotta just follow people or.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, because I'm wondering if you're in the same boat when they were like, we're taking TikTok away. And I was like, well, now's the time, clearly. Let me get on TikTok. And so I posted my first video and it got a lot. And then the next couple didn't. And so I'm wondering if they give you like a boost when you start.
Yeah. I think they absolutely give you a boost.
Yeah.
I've just been doing reels, and so I've been having fun with those. But I was really shocked. Yeah, I was really shocked just because I don't, it's just me being me. But I don't think I'm that interesting. So I did a TikTok dropping my package off, and I hit 2,000 views the other day, and I just could not, I'm like, how? I don't even have 2,000 followers yet on Instagram. So I really thought that was amazing, and I have a lot of fun doing them. So I'm interested to see where Reels takes on Instagram. So.
Well, and I think that can lead into our next one. The next session, one was Instagram, and I didn't attend. So if anyone, there was Instagram growing and streamlining and Poshmark features. I'm going to touch on the Instagram Reels just out of my knowledge, but I'm interested to hear what people have to say. Because Reels is so new, they are definitely favoring it in the algorithm. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing Reels, do Reels. Like, you're going to get a lot of exposure because right now Instagram is really trying to get people to use it. And so they will favor that in the algorithm and give it more exposure than other things that you're doing. However, and this may not matter to other people, but it does matter to me because I look at my stats and my data. It is not included, as of right now, it is not included in your insight. If you have a business account on Instagram, it's not included. Right. Because I did 2 Reels last week and I was like, why are my stats down? What am I doing wrong? What is the world's ending? And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's because I did 2 Reels. That got 2,000 views. So I was still getting exposure, but maybe not as much. Okay, so that goes into the next one. Coco, I don't remember who Coco. I just wrote down the names of the people that I know. I know Coco. She's been on the channel. And then Lynn was the growing and streamlining, and Glitterwell was part of the Poshmark feature. So session 2, everyone in the chat as well. What session did you guys attend?
I attended the Gram is Growing. I think that's what it's called, or the Gram.
Yeah.
That's the one I attended.
Mia,
go ahead.
Oh yeah, Mia, what did you attend?
Yeah, that's what I attended as well.
Oh, Yolanda?
I did Expand Your Horizons, the scaling and growing one.
Oh, that was the one I wanted to do.
Yeah, I did that one.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to let Mia start it off because she's quiet over there. And I feel like if I don't call on her, she's not going to get a word in edgewise. So you went to the Instagram one. What were some of your takeaways from that?
Well, Coco said just find like a rhythm or find something that you can consistently go back to, like consistently reference, like whether it be like an actual post or like the way that you start your post, like so that you have like a signature so that people automatically know that it's you. Mm-hmm. So that even if like they didn't necessarily look at the picture, they may have just caught the first couple of words of your sentence and they automatically cling to that. So if you have like a signature way that you word your post, that will help you build engagement and build community around you. And then also she said for your stories, find something that you can consistently, like a couple of different photographs, and just rotate them out through your story so that you can always start it off with that photograph so that you don't have to worry about like trying to scramble new content every day, because that can be exhausting and overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. And she is a mom of a little 2-year-old, maybe 18 months. I mean, like a little nugget. And her Instagram, if you guys don't follow her, it's Color Resale. Am I saying that right?
I think so, yeah.
It is beautiful, and I can't watch it too much because then it makes me feel bad about mine. It is gorgeous. I mean, she is. You can tell she has a very good aesthetic. She knows what she's doing, for sure. So those are definitely great takeaways. Michelle, did you have anything?
My takeaway, and was also from Coco on Color Resale, was about how to set up your bio, like on your Instagram. And she was talking about how to, like, the very first thing on your bio should be something catching, like eye-catching, to people to draw them in. And so I really like that part of it. And then she also said, then you should have like your mission statement followed by what you do. And she said it's like her formula that she follows in her bio. And then a statement of authority, like how long have you been selling, or items that were sold, amount earned, so stuff like that. And then your location. So I thought that was really interesting that she has a formula that she has broken down For your bio, I definitely need some work in my bio. So I'm definitely going to take that to heart and try that out. So I'm excited to try that.
Yeah, I like it because that's what, and it's hard because there's only so many words, right? And so you
Exactly.
it's hard to get. So I like that she has a formula, and she definitely, I mean, I've watched her increase over the past. I think I had her on my YouTube when I first started doing lives, and I've seen her grow just ridiculously.
She's amazing.
Yeah. And it is, and I will attest to that. Mine's not nearly as pretty as hers is, but having something to fall back on, you know, I created some of the same branding type things. So like I can just put words on it and not have to create a whole new Canva. And I'm getting to the point where people are like, I knew that was you right away. Like I saw that, but then they're thinking they're YouTube things. And I was like, okay, I need to branch out. Not all of these are for YouTube. It's just when I don't have time to build something or take a picture, I can use it. And it's a full-time job to do.
It is.
Yeah. So finding tips and tricks to that. Okay. So tell us everything, Yolanda. You went to the Growing and Streamlining is what I wrote down, but what's the official name?
Oh, okay. Now I got to pull it up again.
Oh,
Okay.
here, I'll pull it up.
It's like
My channel, I'll do the work.
expand your horizons, scaling, growing, and streamlining.
And this is
So,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
it was
Here, I have it. I'll do
Okay.
my job, Yolanda. I won't make you do it. Lynn's Closet LLC is her handle, her story _thrift. And I write
Jane at Iridescent Gray.
yes. Okay. I'm trying to like put the placement in her name. Yes, Jane.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one was actually very interesting. The main takeaway, okay, y'all know I'm backwards. The main takeaway for me was actually that I am not ready to hire employees.
Oh.
So I was like, that was one of the things that they were talking about was like getting into an office space or a warehouse space, and when it's time to grow, to hire people and things like that.
How did they determine that?
So, I mean, it's really no cookie cutter answer. Everyone had a different kind of an aha moment. I mean, when you get to the point where you outgrow the space that you're in, you know, and you can't really budge, like there's nothing else that you can do in your space. You know, like for myself, I have a storage, and that's how I'm starting, because I'm in an apartment, and I mean, it's 3 of us now, and there's no way I can have like 1,100 items or more in my Poshmark closet, and I can't fit it all here. And so I guess, you know, maybe that's how someone would start. But as a part of it is streamlining, and they were talking about when it's time to hire someone to help, when you just get to a point of growth where you can't do it all yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, they were talking about hiring a VA or hiring, like you have, you know, like a lister or something like that. And it's interesting to see people at different levels of their business, because you can have someone that's been reselling for 5 years and they're still okay with doing everything themselves. They're not overwhelmed. But you can have someone that's only been doing it for less than a year, and their growth is so much more exponential. And they're wanting to do something else. So
I'm going to touch on that real quick. I'm sure you probably have more to share from it, but so I'm 2 things. One, I haven't been to Poshfest before, but what I've heard from the content is it's kind of fluffy and it's more about networking. But I'm feeling like what I'm hearing from you guys is it has been catered more to like resellers. Like, I mean, you're talking about hiring employees, right? You're not talking about like, and I know some of their sessions are like how to take pictures, right? But for us, and most of the people probably joining this chat, that's not what we needed. So I'm actually really excited that they're giving content that is useful to everybody, you know, from the beginner to the next level up. And I'm going to touch on, because I do have a lister and a VA, and I'm working on a class, and y'all know me in numbers, I have a formula I'll share in the class on how to decide when is the time for you to make that move into hiring someone to help you and pay, because it's money, right? You have to pay for it. And so from a money numbers perspective, I'll be sharing how I decide in my course, how I decide when it's time to pay someone else to do the job that you're doing. I'm interested, Leslie too is saying she doesn't want to hire someone. So I want to know why she doesn't.
I get it, Leslie. I do. I mean, it's something like certain aspects of your business, you know, is better in your hands. And it's some things that I'm not willing to let go of. Like I would never, well, I can't say never, but I don't think I would ever let go of doing my own photos because that's something that's so personal to me. Like I don't know how to teach someone else to do that part of what I do. But somebody can list for me all day long. I mean,
Oh, it's amazing.
Take it. It's fine. So,
and my lister is so much better than me too. People will ask me, "Oh, you're on social media. How do you do this?" And I was like, "I don't. Yeah. I have no idea how to look up fabric content. No clue."
It's one of the things too that I've learned though, because I'm really a hands-on / controlling person, and I've learned to delegate because we can't do it. It's no way that you can do it all,
right.
Especially when you're trying to grow, and that word that you keep hearing, scale, you know, and you know, it took me, I've been on Posh just at 3 years now. It took me 2+ to hire a VA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but that's like, I can't ever go back to not having someone else share my closet because it frees up so much time.
Right.
And unfortunately, yeah, it's like, unfortunately, you really can't succeed on Posh unless you share your closet. I don't care what nobody tell you. You can't. It's not going to happen. So you have to share your closet.
Right.
And yeah, so it was interesting. Jane was talking about how she has separate spaces for different tasks. So she does things in batches, which spoke to me because I do things in batches. But she has workspaces for each of those things. And so if she can do, you know, one thing here and skip something else, then she still is able to have something else going on in a different place.
Yeah, I do that. I do that too. I have my photograph area. I have my inventory area. I have my shipping station. And I've timed myself. Chris at A Daily Refinement taught me to do this. I've timed myself, and then I find a process and I'm like, let me try this. Like, let me change one little thing and try and beat my times. And I've gotten down to taking pictures, including measurements, in 1.5 minutes. And I can do a package in 2 minutes. Like,
that's amazing.
And that's like trying something out, like, let me try this, and slowly improving my processes and doing batch work, which definitely makes a big difference. And those are things that you can do before you hire out, right? I'm loving these sessions. I really am. I was a little nervous with my first Poshfest that it was going to be. Now I'm really sad that I didn't get to attend any of them. But I will say I have heard, Michelle told me, if you're in the Poshfest 2020 group, they did say that they're recorded things, all the sessions, because they know a lot of people weren't able to make them, and they'll be sharing them in the Facebook group. So you can go watch those if you weren't able to get on, or if you were like, hey, I missed the Instagram one and I want to see that. For the sake of time, because I think we probably could all talk forever, let's get to the third breakout session. So I do have the official names pulled up. I finally got it together by the third one. Through the Lens, cover shots and listing photography, Grow Getters, growth hacks for businesses, and then the At Me Anything. Yes, those are them. Yes. Did you guys attend?
I did not.
Unfortunately, I was not able to attend the third block either.
Mia, it's all on you, girl.
I had a little one that had to go to the nap.
I watched a little bit of it, but I really didn't latch on to anything in particular from it. I started the first one, I think, with all the Posh employees. And then I skipped over to the next one, and he was talking about like photography and like how to set up your photographs so that when they appear on Google, they're nice and clean and crisp and white. And which, of course, like a lot of us seasoned resellers, we already know that. But sometimes, particularly me, when I'm listing in my closet and I can't find like the right stock photo that's like a square and perfect for Poshmark because they only want squares, I'll just use it and it will have like the black in the background. And he was saying, you know, like don't do that just because like you're ruining the aesthetic of your closet and you're stopping yourself from pulling up on Google.
Yeah, well, so there's a free website, and then some of the Photoshop apps can take the background off and make it just white for you. So that could be something that it's like remove back.
I know. I think it's like tap room or photo room or something. It takes the.
I have
white
photo
off.
room and it does that.
Yeah,
I use photo room. Yeah,
and it's a free app.
completely takes
So.
it. Yeah.
So that seems like it was probably a bit of a more elementary. Jamie said that photo room. Thanks, Jamie.
Photo room. Yeah.
Game changer. But that's a paid one, right? Is that paid?
It's free with a watermark, but then you can pay not to have the watermark.
I don't care.
I think it's like a couple bucks.
It's not much.
It's just a one-time, not a monthly thing, though.
Yeah. Leslie brought up a good point, and this is controversial, but I'm going to go there and I'm going to speak my piece, and you guys are welcome to speak your piece as well. In that session, they said don't use stock photos. I'm going to say my 2 cents on this. I didn't attend the session, but Poshmark, all of the reselling apps say that it is not allowed. However, they don't have the manpower to put the regulations on it. They can't take, they don't have the manpower to what is the word? Police it, maybe. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Regulate.
Yeah, so they don't, but there are some, especially on eBay, I know this is Poshfest, but especially on eBay, some of the companies will come after you and shut down your eBay store. I know people who have gotten their eBay store shut down for using stock photos. My 2 cents on it is that's someone else's property. I don't use it. I do have some stock photos in my closet, but only once I've reached out to that company or that photographer or whoever it is and gotten the permission from them. That's my 2 cents. I'm not placing judgment on anyone. I just know personally, if someone were to take my stuff that I'm doing and use it as their own, that I wouldn't want that to happen. So I try and give that respect to other people as well. From Poshmark's perspective, I'm sure they're saying it because technically they don't allow it. You guys are welcome to say your piece as well.
I personally do not use stock photos in my closet either, but I don't judge anybody who does. But I choose not to.
Well, I use them sparingly. And when I use them, it's mainly to capture color, or to capture fit, because I'm plus size. I sell a lot of 2s and 6s, and it's just no way. I don't really have like a mannequin. I just have a dress form. And so to me, I will showcase how something is supposed to fit with a stock photo, but all of my listings have my own photos, which is why I work hard on developing my style. So, I mean, I see it kind of irks me when you get people that only use stock photos. It's like, I guess they don't understand that from a seller's point of view or from a buyer's point of view, you don't have any protection as a seller. If you sell something based off of a stock photo and that buyer gets it and says it has a stain or it has a hole, blah, blah, blah.
They don't show any of the actual item.
Yeah. And you have no way to refute that because you don't have any photos. So
eBay absolutely will side with the buyer, and they will kick you off for that. Like, you absolutely cannot use only stock photos. They have that very clear. Like, you have to at least, if you use a stock photo, you at least have to show it. And I mean, you bring up very valid points, Yolanda. It's very difficult, I think, to do it without stock photos, especially because the amount of people use it. So then you're competing with like professional, like I'm competing with professional photographers that are paid thousands of dollars to style at Revolve, right? Like no matter how I model, I'm not going to be able to compete with that. So it does definitely make it hard. Resellers Passion Leslie says, I think it's more my business when I take my own photos. And this is something, I don't remember who I was talking to, but something that goes into like branding. If you're trying to, like if you're just reselling stuff out of your closet, but if you're trying to make this your business and you're trying to brand and do a YouTube and an Instagram and like make it your brand, doing, whether you model or something else, if someone looks at your closet and they can tell that it is yours. That being said, I've gotten permission to use stock photos, and so I'm all for it because it looks way better. It looks way better in less time than me modeling.
And two, another thing with stock photos, and I'm gonna let it go, but sometimes people are just lazy and they have the wrong item, and it doesn't match what you're selling, and it's so many problems. It's a lot of problems. So if you're going to use them, at least use them the right way, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's something that's hard too with Poshmark, and probably a lot of reselling apps. So many people do this as a side hustle, or cleaning out their closet, and so they don't really know the proper protocols. And then I've noticed with Poshmark, especially in some of the other ones, they think it's like someone bought something from two different closets and then were asking me about the other item. Like they thought it was all Poshmark. Like they thought everything came from Poshmark and didn't realize it was different sellers. And so then if you have this person in this closet doing this, but then I'm doing, following the rules and doing the proper protocols, it may not, like people don't really realize that it's different closets or different businesses, right? So that'll be interesting. Leslie is saying cases have been opened a lot because people use stock photos. Yeah, that makes sense. So then I think it ended. Did it end with something? Or this was?
I don't know, but we skipped one.
Did we?
Yeah.
What did I skip?
We skipped the first after the State of the Union. They went into
oh yes, with Posh Boss Blake.
What do they call it?
Yeah, we skipped that one. It was some good stuff in there. I mean, but it covered a lot of what some of the other ones seems like we've kind of talked about, but we did skip it though.
Okay, well, we can touch on it, and thanks for keeping me honest. I'm gonna send you commission for this video, Yolanda, because you are like doing the job for me. But let me tell you how much YouTubers make. I will probably make 32 cents on this video, so don't be expecting too much. Don't put it all in one place.
Go to the bins. No.
Right, exactly. You could probably buy like a Versace belt at the bins if you found one for 32 cents. There you go. I was listening, typing during the chat when he was talking, and it seemed what I caught was a lot of like self-care, which I liked. I don't know if you guys want to touch on that.
That's what I was just gonna say the same thing. I did catch that from I think they call it the campfire side chat or something. I probably am messing that up, but I do like that they were talking about a lot about self-care and things about how you have just things of going actually through the pandemic, and how people had scaled their business, or how like I like how Posh Boss Blake touched on, he thought, well, he was kind of forced into seeing if full-time was for him, and then full-time reselling, and then he decided that wasn't something for him. But then he also talked about he'd never had thought about self-care until this, and then we can reflect on that. And he bought himself flowers, and I just thought that was amazing. And the other resellers that were on there as well were talking about just finding that time for self-care, because a lot of us were not able to even just like get out and see. Some of our self-care is communicating with other people, our family, our friends, and different things in real life, and we're not able to do that right now. And so I think he was saying that he didn't feel alone, but he was feeling lonely. And I think a lot of people can relate with that right now. And so I think self-care is definitely important, regardless before the pandemic, but especially now.
Yeah, for sure. And I noticed a lot of my self-care, we were talking in the chat, is working out. And I'm not like an exercise fiend, like, oh my God, I'm during competitions. It just puts my mindset right. I'm just getting those endorphins. And so I really do try and do it every day. And my husband can tell when he's like, you haven't worked out today, have you? And I was like, am I not bitchy? Like, yeah, go for it. Like, go do something. Either that or he's like, how many sales did you make today? When I'm bitchy, it's you haven't worked out and you've had a 0 sales day. Like, does he know me or what? Well, we are wrapping up towards the hour, and I know we all have busy schedules and want to get our sleep for tomorrow's session. So if there's anything that you guys want to share that we didn't cover, Yolanda kept me honest about that first one that I missed. But if there was any other takeaways that you guys really thought were important to share about today's day one.
I have one favorite part from the entire day, and it goes back to the State of the Union, Posh Union. I do feel presidential when I say that too. Okay. But Manish was saying that, remember, we're not in competition, with anyone, because when one of us succeeds, we all succeed. And I think that in this day and age, especially with business, and everyone is trying to keep their source secrets, and there's some things that you don't need to share, but I think sometimes people take it a step too far, because we're just all here just trying to do better, and I think it's important that we embrace that about each other.
Agreed. And fortunately for us, unfortunately for the world, there is far too much product out there. Like we're never going to run. I mean, maybe things will change. They're predicting, people are going to get more into sustainable fashion and stuff. But right now, that's not the case. Like there is enough out there for all of us. Like if I tell you how to do something, like you're not taking business from me. We're not in that place right now. And that is something. There's definitely people who don't fall into that category, but for the most part, I do find, at least the people that I've connected with, I mean, you guys are right here sharing everything that you learned that I wasn't able to go to. You ask a question and people are willing to answer. I've had very few people that have ignored me or flat out said, I'm not going to do that. Or, I mean, Leslie is a huge example. If she doesn't know the answer, she will go find it for you. And I find that is a large part of Poshmark, which is what a lot of people keep coming back. There's so many platforms to sell on. And I think that's absolutely one of the reasons that so many people stay with Poshmark through the thick and the thin. I was surprised, and I'm wondering if I'm going to touch on some of the stuff tomorrow. I'm wondering if in his talk tomorrow, because he'll start the day off tomorrow and do the hackathon, he didn't talk about the IPO at all, did he?
No.
Yeah, I thought for sure because don't they touch on financials in the IPO? So that might be tomorrow. I was interested. I mean, there's not a lot to say, but I thought for sure. Let me look at tomorrow. I have morning welcome, hackathon, fireside chat, important. Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe it'll be it shouldn't be in the wrap up, but it may.
Yeah, I thought they would have done it today. So maybe he's not. I mean, so if you don't, you guys might know, but people who are watching, they did do a draft for the IPO last Friday. I don't know what day it is. It was like a week ago. I think last Friday. And so that'll be interesting to see if they completely, last year they did it and then pulled out of the IPO and wanted to get some things in line. But now they're doing it again. Oh, Ashley's saying that's true because she is on the board. He might do it with Serena Williams. That's valid.
Right. Okay.
So that is tomorrow. I'm interested. There's not a lot to say, but I do think it's kind of a big pillar in what's happening right now on Poshmark that I think that he should maybe touch on it. So let's end on that. Besides my session tomorrow that I know you guys are all so excited for, what sessions do you think you guys are going to be attending or are you most looking forward to tomorrow? Do you want me to go over them? I have it up.
That might be helpful because I don't know what's going on.
I don't either. That's why I have it up. So obviously everyone is going to Spreadsheet Success tomorrow in the third breakout session. The first one is Inventory Tours Set Up for Success. Bring your listing to life with Poshmark stories. Self-care. The second one is Be Your Own CFO. So this is with Nicole Collette. If you know her, about taxes, bookkeeping, financial planning. That one is one that I've heard a lot of people want to go to. Creating a brand that stands out. I think that one will be interesting too. Not Tori, Shop Foxborough. Why can I not think of her name? She's gonna come. Well, I cannot think. She shot Foxborough. She has a YouTube channel and an Instagram. She has amazing vintage, but she's gonna be doing this. God, this is gonna kill me. I know her like personally, and now I can't think of her name. Obviously, you can tell I'm better with numbers than words. Be Our Guest, customer experience, and then also thinking green, shifting to sustainability, thriving and subscribing on YouTube, and then, of course, you guys are excited for mine. A time to excel, spreadsheet success. I think that's, Poshmark Canada. They have that in there twice. The app has things.
And her name is Brittany. They're saying it's Brittany.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to say Beverly, and then I was thinking Tori, but Tori is Girly Girl Styles. It's 7:00 on Friday. Thank you guys for keeping me honest. All right. So now that I've said them, if there's any that you guys think you're most excited for.
I'm definitely excited for yours tomorrow, definitely. And I'm also excited for Nicole Collute's because I'm just about numbers and financials a lot with my business as well. So those two stand out definitely for me. And so I know those definitely two that I'll be attending.
I'm not so much the numbers one, the second one you were saying, but I do want to get into the brand one and just see what that's about. Because I feel like there might be like some nuggets in there.
Yeah, that'll be good. And I'm actually a little sad that the thriving and subscribing on YouTube is during my session, because that's one of the ones I would want. Because it's Mogi Beth, I think, and Becky Park on Poshmark, like two legit YouTubers.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that one will be recorded. I'm also hoping that nobody goes to it, though, and comes to my session. I'm like, of all the sessions, I'm going up against Mogi Beth. Like, come on. I'm just kidding. But so I thank you guys so much for coming here and sharing everything that you guys learned today with us, and everyone in the comments as well. One final thing, my mystery boxes are pre-sale today, last and only day. It was only one day. They're pre-sale, so if you were on the list, you should have gotten an email. If you didn't, send me a DM and I'll send it to you today. If you do pre-sale today, you do also get a free gift. They will go on sale for everyone tomorrow, so follow my stories and I'll share the link tomorrow. For those, there is a limited, so once they're up. It's at 5 new with tag activewear. Resell activewear, you can resell them, or the size so you can keep them. I was going to say one other thing, but now I don't remember. Monday I am going to be doing a recap just like this for day 2. Girly Girl Styles with her husband Bill, and then also Ashley Wheeler of 8 will be on, and we'll be talking about what happened on day 2. So that's my 2 cents. I will see everyone tomorrow at 11:45 Pacific Standard during my session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.